Well, the former juggernaut of a game franchise called Fallout finally has a TV show. That's right, I said former juggernaut. Come at me, Bethesda shills. Now, normally when the episodes of a show I'm going to review drop all at once, I binge through the entire thing and then review the whole season. But this time, I'm actually watching the show with Chauncey, like a good healthy couple would do. And I don't want to get ahead of myself and ruin anything by just not being able to keep my mouth shut. So for now, I'll talk about the first two episodes that we've seen, and if there's any actual interest in this show or on this video, maybe I'll do the entire season once we're done watching it. And I should probably tell you, if any hardcore Fallout fans are watching this, that I am not a huge Fallout lore aficionado. I've played mostly Fallout 3, followed by New Vegas, and I could not get myself to put that many hours to Fallout 4 or 76. So in terms of Fallout, I can tell if it is Fallout, but in terms of the lore of the game, can't do much for you. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. The first two episodes of Fallout, I'm surprised to say, I actually enjoyed. It's by no means a groundbreaking show, and at this point, it could go anywhere in terms of quality and enjoyment, but so far, I'm actually interested in seeing where it goes. I think the best part of this show so far are Walton Goggins and like the Jonathan Nolan direction and influence. I just hope we get a season 1 of Westworld Jonathan Nolan quality and not like the later seasons done by his wife when he stepped away. And so far, I think we got a pretty decent version of him. The show does not pull its punches on the graphic killing and showing the harsh world at the surface compared to the calmer, safe, day-to-day life with order that the Vault Dwellers experience. In keeping with Vault Dwellers, the main Vault Dweller character named Lucy, and she's pretty much the overly positive Pit-Boy cartoon made into a person. She's super helpful and positive and willing to help anyone so humanity can survive, but also, she's capable of doing what she has to do, even if she objects. She does have some fun dialogue, but as a character, there is not much to her. It's more what she experiences that is the interesting part, and seeing if she loses all her positivity in the process of exploring the surface world to find her dad. The other two main characters have some more depth to them. The Brotherhood of Steel guy, maybe just a little bit more. But the Ghoul has a whole lot they can work with and is shaping up to be the real interesting guy for me. But I guess we should address the Brotherhood of Steel guy first. Maximus is his name, and his storyline so far, if I had to compare it to other things, would be like the Mandalorian with more personality, put into like the Gen 1 Iron Man suit from the cave in the first Iron Man movie. Like the Mandalorian, he is a boy that was orphaned during a battle and taken into a cult-like religious group that goes around fighting in armor. And yeah, this totally isn't a ripoff of the Iron Man helmet shot at all. But look, all the power armor symbols from the game are in there. Isn't that neat? The story for Maximus so far has him dealing with like some internal conflict about the Brotherhood of Steel's ideals and him wanting to be a knight in the power suit so he can get revenge for the people that took his family away, as well as being the knightly hero to the innocent. He pretty much knows what he wants, but he doesn't know if he can do the things that he, thinks or actually needs to do in order to get it. And there is a story there overall with that conflict, but so far I have not been too impressed with the one we're shown, and he's been my least favorite character so far. I'm sure the sometimes terrible animation and power armor effects don't help, but in the first episode, I found him somewhat interesting and I kind of wanted to see what would happen, but in the second episode, he kind of became dumb and a little more of a joke. It was like a look, he's figuring out how the power suit works so it all goes wacky kind of thing, and I just wanted them to kind of bring him down a bit again, but they didn't, and I hope they do that in the future episodes. And now for the Ghoul, played by Walton Goggins. This man has been around since the bombs fell and Fallout began. He's a cowboy that knows some shit and seen some shit. And you get glimpses of his past and all that shit he's seen and how it made him a ghoul and what happened to him. You have almost 200 plus years of history and backstory to go over with this guy and how he became this merciless bounty hunter ghoul he is now. And they've only scratched the surface with him so far. And I really hope they don't fumble the ball because I really want to like this guy and see who he was and what will happen to him. The role of the Ghoul was absolutely written for Walton. He is nailing the performance so far. He is the best performance in the show for me. Everyone else has done good to fine, and I have no real complaints about the acting chops, actually. As for the look and style of the show, I think they did pretty good. The immediate area around Vault 33 and is all the desert and wasteland like you would expect. The types of damage and the things left over are all pretty accurate to the game. And the first major town called Philly you get to see has very Fallout 4 vibes. They even have all the stuff laid out in the shops in a very Fallout way, just haphazardly in this little case thing or whatever. There are bad things, of course, like how some of the power armor shots and CGI movements and the power armor apparently just has unlimited power, so they always move, not having to go find the stupid things to put in there all the time. It's whatever. Game gripes, I guess. And then they have their weapons, and they look decent cosplay quality, or just like big toys. Also, there's the super dense forest just there, next to California wasteland desert. You know, Fallout, super known for its lush forests. There aren't as many like Fallout-esque fancy cars and the unique futuristic 70s 40s style thing going on. And they have not shown a lot of Fallout creatures. They've been more member berries than anything. This is very much a people are all over the surface kind of thing. Because the world just seems small, like everything is a short walk away. There's a lot of just the characters conveniently bumping into the people they need to bump into, and characters do make some terrible choices, like when Maximus finally gets his power armor and just doesn't carry the big bag of supplies and guns and shit with him. They do have stim packs in this already, and they seem to do whatever they need to do to get you to survive, which kind of works for a game mechanic, and I bet there probably is lore as to why in the game that I don't know of, but when it's in a show, you probably should put some constraints on it, or at least give that lore and that explanation or something than just magic heal drug. Another kind of story structure that I'm not really digging that much is the MacGuffin mystery box thing that's been set up and is done to death, and I just don't think you needed that to keep the show going. I thought they set up enough for that whole thing probably didn't need to be there. I do want more of the scarce creatures to actually appear and be there and not be member berries. I want the robots to show up, and I even have them like hack terminals maybe. These are all aspects of the game I think you can actually use well in an adaptation, and not just be, look, this was a thing you know from Fallout. Although at times I do think they're doing the look, this is from Fallout member berry stuff decently well. You can both know Fallout, the video game, or nothing about it at all, and I think you could still pick up this world pretty fast. Like, they never explain that caps are the money, but you see signs denoting it as currency in the town of Philly, and when they mention it, kind of as bounty rewards. So the audience can pick up on that stuff pretty quick and not just have a shopkeeper explaining to the vault dweller that it's the money as if they're speaking to the audience. So I think there's plenty of stuff and Easter eggs and things for Fallout fans to go, as well as enough being shown and told for the non-Fallout fans to kind of get up to speed and not lost, with the exception of a few things. If you're a hardcore Fallout fan, then you'll probably find plenty you won't like. If you just worship Bethesda and the ground they walk on, then you will love this thing no matter what. And if you just want a decent post-apocalyptic show set in a game you either are a casual fan of or know nothing about, then maybe give it a shot. And I guess I should answer if it's woke or intersectional feminist or whatever at this point. I would say the first 2 episodes, no, but that doesn't mean no to the entire show. Again, this is just the first 2 episodes. And in them, there is plenty of diverse people, but it isn't in your face with messaging. No person of color has talked about how before the bombs fell, people dealt with racism and bigotry and, real horror more than radiation can ever do, or any stupid shit like that. You could probably say there are a couple girl bosses, but they haven't really presented in a bad way or just kind of shown at all that much. And while I was afraid Lucy would end up being a Mary Sue when they showed her being like the best at all sports, fighting, farming, shooting, and whatever from the vault, I was pleasantly surprised that when she actually had to fight like a raider with actual combat experience, she only narrowly escaped and was not physically stronger than him. He was throwing her around, and she actually had to be resourceful with tools and using her environment around her. She didn't just do that swing yourself around them acrobatic fighting shit we see everywhere nowadays. So well done, Fallout, and I hope you keep stuff like that up. All in all, if I had to give the first 2 episodes a rating, I would say it's probably a 6 out of 10 for me so far. It's not groundbreaking, and it has plenty of little mistakes, but I will be finishing the season at this point. So I guess if people are still talking about this show when we're done, and if this video gets well reviewed, look out for in the future for a full season review and any videos that this channel puts out. And the best way to do that is by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So with that, I guess, bye. Or actually, not bye, because by the time I finish editing this video, Chauncey and I have actually watched the 3rd episode, and it I didn't really like it that much. I thought it was a slip in quality. All the things that I had a problem with was even more. Everybody was stupid. So many bad decisions. I hate Maximus. And it's gotten a little too silly. Not a whole lot happened of real great significance. And it was just, yeah, it happened. So, not a great sign for the rest of the season. But, I'll let you know how it goes. This time, bye.